All right, I'm going to go ahead and do a couple examples, just order of operations on integers here. So let's go ahead and tackle these here. And again, when you go through these, keep in mind the idea of BEDMAS. So B is for brackets here. I'm going to go ahead and take care of the brackets first. So I'm going to rewrite this back down. 8 minus 6 is 2, so you have your 2 squared plus 4. I'm going to change the dot for multiplication to brackets, just easier to view. Same with the other one here. And that's 3 to the 1 plus 19 to the 0. So continuing on, we now have exponents. I'm going to go ahead and take care of exponents here. This is going to be 4, and 2 squared is 4, plus 4 times 3 minus 2 times 8. And you can go ahead and take care of these exponents. This becomes 3 to the power 1 is just 3, and 19 to the power of 0 is 1. So continuing on here, we've got our brackets and exponents done. Division is the next operation, but I can't perform division until I get this down to a single number, and likewise here. So continuing this up here, we're going to have to move on to multiplication. So I have multiplication here, and multiplication here, and multiplication here. So this is going to be 16 plus 12 minus 16, all divided by 4. I can go ahead and do that addition to get it down to a single number. And now we end up getting 12 over 4, applying our division. I end up getting the answer here is 3. All right, let's take a look at another. So next problem here, same idea. You're going to see, though, a lot of similar numbers, but again, B is for brackets. So I'm going to have to take the brackets in here first, and likewise the brackets in here first. Looking at the brackets here, you're going to want to go 3 minus 16, and again, whenever you have brackets, you're kind of restarting the question, and then you're going through your BEDMAS rules all over again. So when I look inside of here, this is like now my new question, and I want to assess this. This will be 3 minus 2 times 8. So this will end up being 3 minus 16, in which case this is negative 13 for what I have there. This will be minus 13. And then in here, you're going to have to go ahead and do the innermost bracket first. So you're going to get the 2 squared plus 4. And again, when assessing this one here, this is going to end up being, they're going to have to go ahead and do exponents first. So 2 squared is 4 plus 4. And again, multiplication kicks in. So 4 times 4 is 16 plus 4. And this ends up being 20. So what I have here is 20. So let's go ahead and replace those values. This ends up being 20 times minus 13. And now I'm taking care of the bottom. And looking at the bottom here, I've got 2 squared out. You can go ahead and I'll leave the 2 squared for now. Doing brackets here, I end up getting exponents. This becomes 8 plus 5. And I have 20 times negative 13 divided by 2 squared is 4. And 8 plus 5 gives us our 13. And now we're going to go ahead and reduce. So do yourself a favor. Don't multiply this out. Don't multiply this out. You can go ahead and reduce this here. So you can see 13 divided by 13. You're just left with a negative 1. And then here I have 4 goes into 25 times. So the only thing left over here is 5 times negative 1, in which case our final answer is negative 5. All right, let's take a look at another example. So next example here, we have a ton of fractions to deal with here. And again, B is for brackets. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of this here first. These are really separate questions, so I can tackle them one at a time. This will be 2 squared, which is 4. So I can reduce this to become 4 over 8. I can, I'll just leave this as 2 over 2 for now. And this will be minus 2 cubed is going to be 8 over 12. Minus, continuing on here, we're now focusing our attention here. Negative 1 quantity squared is 1. That's going to be 1 over 8 minus that half. Minus, you'll notice here, negative 1 to the power of 3 is in fact negative 1 over 12. So this ends up being 1 half plus 1. And little typo here, this I've got 2 cubed. I wrote down 8. It's not 8 cubed. I have to knock off that 8. So this becomes minus 8 over 12 minus 1/8 minus a half plus 1 over 12. So now when working with this here, we do need a common denominator. So first of all, I can rewrite the just to make this a little bit easier for myself, I can rewrite the 8 over 12. I can reduce that and write it in lower terms. So I can divide top and bottom by 4, in which case this becomes 8 over 12 is equivalent to 2/3. So now I can go ahead and get a common denominator here and add all these up. So the common denominator for this will be 24. So I'm going to go ahead and get equivalent fractions. So in this case here, I'm going to have to multiply top and bottom by 12. That's going to be 12 over 24. This will be 24 over 24. This will be 16 over 24. And again, I multiplied here top and bottom by 8. To make that happen, this is top and bottom by 12. And this here is really over 1. So I did top and bottom by 24 for that one. This will be top and bottom by 3, so you get 3 over 24. Again by 12, we get 12 over 24. And again, this will be by 2, so you get 2 over 24. So continuing this up here, now that I have a common denominator, I can just go ahead and perform this operation all the way across, in which case this becomes 36 minus 16 is going to be 20 over 24. Minus, same idea here, common denominator in the bottom, so I can perform this operation all the way across, in which case I get 3 minus 12 is negative 9, plus 2 is negative 7 over 24. And once again, the two minuses become positive, so I end up getting here 20 over 24 plus 7 over 24. I end up getting 27 over 24. I can go ahead and divide top and bottom by 3, giving me 9 over 8 as my final answer. Okay, this was a more involved question involving some fractions, common denominators. Let's take a look at another. All right, for the last problem here, same idea. I'm going to go ahead and simplify where I can. So this is going to be 5 squared over 8 is going to be 25 over 8 plus 25 minus 5 cubed will be minus 125 over 12 minus, again, I've got here negative 4 to the power of 2 is going to be positive 16 over 8 minus 20. And then this will be negative 4 cubed, and negative 4 cubed is going to be negative 64. And because of the two minus signs, the negative with a negative, this ends up being positive 64 over 12. So when tackling these expressions here, you can see that some of the numbers are the same. Like if I were to force a common denominator here and ignore the existence of this side of the equation, I'd have to get a common denominator between the 8 and the 12, which would be 24, and then I'd end up having to get a common denominator here, which will be have to take 25 times 24. So the number is getting very large. So what you can do is make the observation that I can kind of group these two together, I can group these two together, and then I can group the numbers together as well. And that should make the math a little bit easier here. So because multiplication, addition, I can move things around, I'm going to go ahead and do that. So this is going to be 25 over 8 minus 16 over 8 by putting what I have in blue together. Then I'm going to have the plus 25. Now this will be minus negative 20, so it'll be plus 20. And then I'll have the minus 125 over 12. And again, that minus sign is going to be distributed, minus 64 over 12. So this just makes things a little bit cleaner for us because I can go assess these individually. So this here, and this one, and lastly this one. So putting this together here, I can go ahead and 25 minus 6, this will end up being 9 over 8 plus 45. And this will be minus 189 over 12. So now we're here, and I want to look to see whether I can reduce this at all. For 189, if you take a look here, I can at least divide top and bottom by 3 here. So this fraction now becomes 9 over 8 plus 45 minus 63 over 4. And you'll notice here, I still need to get a common denominator. So I'm actually going to multiply top and bottom of this by 2. And I'm going to end up getting 9 over 8 minus 126 over 8 plus 45. And 9 minus 126 gives me negative 117 over 8 plus the 45. And the numbers are going to have to be messy here. I get negative 117 over 8 plus 45 times 8 over 8. And this ends up being 243 over 8. And that is now in lowest terms. All right, so a little messier of a question, a little more work to do, but we still, by using that strategy, grouping these together, simplifying, you can get yourself down to a final answer. All right, thank you.